Warm greetings, time travelers. Welcome to Giggletown TV's time travel adventure. Picture this. You're part of an extraordinary family. A family with an insatiable thirst for knowledge and a knack for extraordinary inventions. Together, you've built something incredible, something out of this world. A time machine. That's right, a device that can transport you to any moment in history. Now, imagine the wealth of knowledge waiting to be discovered. The thrill of standing amongst ancient civilizations, the awe of witnessing historical events unfold right before your eyes, the chance to learn from the past, to understand how our ancestors lived and how their actions shaped the world we live in today. And the best part, it's not just about learning. It's about living the adventure, experiencing the thrill of time travel, and having a ton of fun along the way. So buckle up and get ready to journey back in time. Our first stop? The fascinating era of the Vikings. Buckle up because we're about to dive into the thrilling world of the Viking Age, a time of exploration, conquest, and yes, even a little bit of plundering. From the late 8th century to the early 11th century, the Vikings sailed from their homelands in Scandinavia to far-off places across Europe, Asia, and even North America. Now I know what you're thinking. Vikings, weren't they just a bunch of ruthless warriors? Well, that's only part of the story. Sure, the Vikings were fierce fighters, but they were also skilled craftsmen, traders, and explorers. They built intricate ships that could navigate both deep seas and shallow rivers, allowing them to travel far and wide. They even reached North America around 500 years before Christopher Columbus, landing in what is now Newfoundland, Canada. And let's not forget about their spectacular craftsmanship. The Vikings were known for their intricate metalwork and jewelry, creating pieces that are still admired today for their beauty and sophistication. From elaborate brooches to stunning sword hilts, Viking craftsmanship was truly a sight to behold. But it wasn't all work and no play for the Vikings. They also knew how to throw a good party. Feasts were a big part of Viking culture with music, storytelling, and of course, lots of food and drink. These gatherings were a time for Vikings to celebrate their victories at sea, honor their gods, and enjoy the company of friends and family. And speaking of gods, the Vikings had quite a few. From Odin, the All-Father, to Thor, the god of thunder, Viking mythology is filled with fascinating tales of gods, giants, and legendary heroes. But we'll get to that in a bit. Isn't the Viking Age fascinating? But don't get too comfortable. We're just getting started. So, hold on tight as we continue our journey through time, exploring the lives and adventures of the Vikings. You never know what we might discover next. Ever wondered what life was like as a Viking? Let's journey back to the Viking Age, filled with fascinating tales, vibrant cultures, and a society quite different from ours today. Picture this. You're waking up, not to the sound of an alarm clock, but to the crowing of a rooster. You're not in a high-rise apartment, but a longhouse, a large wooden home where you live with your whole family, and maybe even a few animals. Sounds cozy, doesn't it? Breakfast isn't a bowl of cereal, but porridge, bread, and maybe some cheese. And after eating, you're not heading off to school or work in a car or bus. No, you're stepping outside to tend to the fields, look after the animals, or maybe even practice your sword-fighting skills. Yes, you heard that right. Vikings were known to be skilled warriors. Vikings were also known for their elaborate feasts, where they would gather to eat, drink, and share stories of their exploits. These feasts often featured music and poetry, reflecting the rich culture of the Viking society. Now you might be thinking, did Vikings wear horned helmets? Contrary to popular belief, Vikings did not wear horned helmets. This is a myth that has been perpetuated by modern media. In reality, their helmets were simple, designed for protection, not style. As for the children, they didn't have the luxury of video games or cartoons. Instead, they played with wooden toys or helped with chores. But don't feel too bad for them. They also had the exciting job of learning how to become a Viking, practicing archery, and learning about their rich history through sagas, stories passed down from generation to generation. And when the day was done, the Vikings didn't go to bed in pajamas. They wore simple tunics and trousers, made from wool or linen, to keep warm during the chilly Scandinavian nights. Imagine living as a Viking! But our time travel adventure isn't over yet. Get ready for more exciting tales from the past as we continue our journey through history. Did you know Vikings were not just warriors, but explorers and traders too? When we think of Vikings, we often picture fearsome, battle-hardened warriors. But there's more to these seafaring folks than just their prowess in combat. Vikings were also renowned explorers and traders who embarked on daring voyages across uncharted waters. Their mighty longships, expertly crafted and skillfully navigated, carried them to distant lands. These included places as far afield as North America, which they reached hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus. Now, how's that for a history tidbit? But it wasn't just about exploration. The Vikings were also savvy traders. Using their extensive network of trade routes, they exchanged goods with various cultures. From the silks of Byzantium to the spices of the East, they brought an array of exotic items back to their Nordic homelands. And they weren't just importing goods, they were exporting too. From Scandinavian timber and iron to beautifully crafted jewelry and, believe it or not, even walrus ivory, they had a lot to offer the world. Their trade wasn't limited to goods, though. They also traded ideas, technology, and culture. The Vikings left their mark wherever they went, influencing the societies they encountered and being influenced in return. These voyages weren't always easy. They faced treacherous seas, hostile territories, and unfamiliar climates. But the Vikings, ever the adventurers, were undeterred. They navigated using the stars, the sun, and even migratory birds. They were masters of the sea, and their spirit of exploration was second to none. So, let's remember the Vikings not just as warriors, but also as adventurers, explorers, and traders who left a lasting impact on the world. Their journeys took them far beyond their home shores, and their trade network was vast and impressive. They were trailblazers in a time of limited knowledge and resources, pushing boundaries and expanding horizons. The Vikings sure had a knack for adventure, don't you think? Let's delve into the fascinating world of Viking mythology. Our journey in the time machine now takes us to the mystical realm of Norse gods and their legendary tales. The Vikings, those fearsome seafaring warriors, held a strong belief in a pantheon of gods, each with their own distinct personalities and powers. At the top, we have Odin the Allfather, the king of the gods who was known for his wisdom, healing, death, royalty, and the gallows. He was often accompanied by his two ravens, Hugin and Munin, representing thought and memory, who flew around the world gathering information for their master. Then we have Thor, the god of thunder, strength, and the protector of mankind. Thor's mighty hammer, Mjolnir, was said to cause lightning and could level mountains, making him a favorite among Viking warriors. And let's not forget Loki, the trickster god, who could change his shape and even gender at will. Despite being a source of mischief, Loki was also a catalyst for change and evolution in many tales. The Vikings also believed in a vast array of mythical creatures. From the mighty Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent who was so large it could encircle the world, to the eight-legged horse Sleipnir, the fastest steed in all the realms. One of the most exciting Viking beliefs was in Ragnarok, a cataclysmic event where the gods would battle against the forces of chaos, resulting in the end of the world, only for it to be reborn anew. Viking mythology was deeply intertwined with their daily lives, influencing their laws, morals, art, and even their ship designs. For instance, the dragon-headed longships were inspired by the sea serpents from their myths. The Viking stories were passed down orally for generations, and they continue to inspire us today, from literature to movies and even video games. Viking mythology, full of tales as thrilling as our time travel adventure. As much as we love the Viking Age, it's time to say goodbye. We've journeyed through the fascinating world of longships, runes, and mythology. We've sailed with daring explorers and traders, and we've delved into the everyday life of a Viking. Do you remember how Vikings were not just warriors, but skilled craftsmen and farmers too? And how about the captivating tales of gods and goddesses like Thor and Freya that were central to Viking mythology? We've seen the Vikings' adventurous spirit and their remarkable resilience. Their stories have left an indelible mark on history, shaping the world as we know it today. As we wave goodbye to the Viking Age, we carry with us the knowledge of a civilization that was far more complex and intriguing than most of us ever imagined. Farewell, Viking Age. Our time machine is ready for the next adventure. Ready for a sneak peek at our next historical period? Buckle up, time travelers, because we're about to give you a small glimpse into our next fantastic journey. We've journeyed through the thrilling era of the Vikings, but now it's time to rev up our time machine for a new adventure. Can you guess where we're headed next? Here's your clue. It's a place where great minds sparked revolutions, not with swords, but with pens and ideas. It's an era where art, science, and culture flourished like never before. An epic where towering structures reached for the heavens and renowned painters brought canvas to life. Who knows? We might even run into a certain genius with a curious smile, or perhaps a man who dared to look up and question the stars. Intrigued yet? Well, don't worry, we won't keep you in suspense for too long. Stay tuned for the next exciting chapter in our time travel adventure. Sadly, it's time to bring our adventure to an end for today. We've journeyed through time, sailed with the Vikings, and discovered a world that was both fascinating and wild. We hope you've enjoyed every moment of our whimsical voyage through history, and that you've learned something new and exciting about the ancient civilizations. We are incredibly grateful to have you as part of our Giggletown TV family. Your support and enthusiasm fuel our adventures and make every journey worthwhile. If you've enjoyed our time travel escapade today, please do hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting trips through history. And hey, we're always looking for new destinations to explore, so don't be shy. Let us know in the comments where you'd like us to travel next. Should we visit the pyramids of Egypt, or take a trip to the future maybe? Stay curious, time travelers, and remember, the adventure is just beginning.